quite a big weekend coming up. I wanted to ask you initially on what your expectations were, but I think we kind of have an idea of what to expect. Who are the people you're watching most closely? Let's start with that.
I mean, quite frankly, it's consensus now, right? Everybody's been talking about what exactly is going to be playing out, Li Chang, whomever. And for us, I don't mean to downplay it, but it's moderately irrelevant at this stage because all of the planning has already been done from post 20th Party Congress up to this stage. What we're heading into, and I think what's going to be most interesting, and to be honest, ourselves and nobody, quite frankly, has a clue, is how that's actually going to be executed upon. We can see that it's been a hectic 3 months since the lockdown was lifted. COVID ripped through in December. There was no economic activity then. And then we had January with Chinese New Year, no activity then. And now everybody's sort of getting back to a level playing field and trying to figure out what steps are next. So for us, it's the bookmark. It's Li Keqiang this weekend. And then in roughly 2 weeks' time, you're going to have Li Chang, kicking off the whole new 5 years of what policy is going to look like. And we're excited. We're going to be watching it pretty closely like everybody else.
Yeah, maybe here, because you're based in Shanghai and you lived through this lockdown, you're the right person to ask you about this, about Li Chang. Given the fact that he kind of oversaw this lockdown, I'm sure there's a lot of confidence that's been lost there. Do you think he's going to set the right tone for multinationals and foreign businesses that do operate in the financial hub there?
We're already seeing it, and it's a rabbit hole to go down. What happened with the lockdown, because there was some sort of Strum and Drang drama between Li Chang, and there were certain factions in China that really did not want him to go up to Beijing as number two, and I won't bore you with all of the gruesome details, but what we can see right now is the Shanghai government has been going out of its way over the last, better since the lockdown, really, to engage with various foreign companies. And, maybe anecdotally, but I've been shocked at how many people from Hong Kong and Singapore have been flying up over the last 2 weeks. I think I've had more direct meetings with clients in the last 2 weeks than I have in the last 3 years combined.
And indeed, what sort of is the mood towards China that you're getting from those visitors?
Well, two things. Number one is everybody is trying to keep a relatively low profile. The firms that we deal with in the financial service realm, everybody who was committed remains committed. They're just doing it on a much more lower profile. But then you have the Americans. The Americans have, taken the bait, as I call it, of the headlines. They think, China's bad, too much risk, so on and so forth. And they're being, if I'm being diplomatic, very cautious. Our expectation is you're going to probably see one heck of a renaissance here, at least in Shanghai, in the second half of the year. And around that time, clarity in policy, you're going to start seeing a lot more foreign executives travel into the mainland.
Peter, I'm not sure if you heard our conversation a few minutes back with the APAC head of markets at Citi, and I think one of the first things that she mentioned was they are waiting for some of their approvals for, I think, one of their JVs or to take full control of one of their entities in Citi on the mainland. The reason I bring that up, you probably know where I'm going with this, do you think we will see an acceleration of approvals coming through for foreign firms doing business there?
David, we already have. I mean, that was one of the classic things that happened after the 20th Party Congress. We had J.P. Morgan, Manulife, Morgan Stanley, Standard Chartered. Now, these were applications that were in the queue for a number of years. But, the last time I was on, when everybody was speculating off of the 20th Party Congress, my response to everybody was, let's just see what action happens. Focus on activity. Forget about rhetoric. Forget about, hot takes on air. And it's clear that the foreign community is being warmly welcomed, so long as they recognize that the rules of engagement in China are different than in other markets in which they operate. And that's been the biggest, I would say, headache that we've been addressing with our clients over the last couple of months.